everyone, welcome to my PI 200 presentation. The article that I will talk about is regional integration. Regional integration is the process by which two or more nation states agree to cooperate and work closely together to achieve peace, stability, and wealth. Usually, integration involves one or more written agreements that describe the areas of cooperation in details as well as some coordinating body. These are pros and cons of regional integrations. For the pros, creation of trade and more jobs encourage a greater consensus and allow for political cooperation. For the cons, lower sovereignty, shift of employment, inefficient trade, divisions of productive exporters to less capable exporters. For the regional integration, seeks to first, assistance with economic development through the development of policy that benefits enterprises. Second, assist in the growth of human resources. Improved health and education services are available. Third, assist in the growth of human resources. Last one, overcome some of the problems facing the regions, address some of the consequences of unevenness of resource distribution. The paper that I work with is Regional Integration in ASEAN's Institution Design and the ASEAN Way. ASEAN has conducted a number of meetings, negotiations, and agreements since its formation in 1967. In examining the type of arguments made under the purview of ASEAN, a number of different forms can be found. One type of argument is the declaration. This form of argument is not technically, legally binding. It functions as a normative statement of the joint objective of the parties involved without requiring a legal obligation on their behalf. In this regard, the declarations operate as soft law. The purpose of this paper is to attempt to provide an answer to that question by examining the developments and design of ASEAN as an international institution. Prior research on ASEAN has focused mostly on two different accounts for explaining its process of integration. One explanation focuses more on a constructivist view. Another explanation focuses on a regionalist view of regionalism. For constructivist view on integrations in Southeast Asia explain the process at one based upon norms and volume that create a regional identity over time. Little conceptions of a Southeast Asian identity existed in the region when ASEAN was founded in 1967. Repeated interactions through ASEAN over the years create this identity. These interactions have led to a norm of behavior among ASEAN states, known as the ASEAN Way. This norm is usually referred to as the decision-making process that emphasizes consultations, consensus, and non-interference in internal affairs. The most important elements of the ASEAN Way are informality and an aversion to institutionalization. For rationalist approach view integration as a process of pursuing mutual interests of the member state. This approach view institutions as a key part of the integration process. Institutions are important to resolve coordinations and collective actions problems because they provide decision makers with greater information and they reduce transaction costs in promoting cooperation among a large number of states. For the conclusions, The process of integrations in ASEAN along intergovernmental lines suggests a couple of consequences for the next steps in the process. First of all, it should be accepted that ASEAN will continue to exist and deepen integrations through deliberate, incremental means. ASEAN states had realized that enhanced cooperation provide too many benefits to try either slow down or reverse the process. This realization was indicated by its response to the 1997 financial crisis to accelerate integrations. The growing power of China will also be relevant to the future of ASEAN. A regional bloc will provide ASEAN states with greater influence in ASEAN. Then they will have actions individually. At the same time, ASEAN argument will continue to exhibit imprecision and slow delegations of authority. Secondly, ASEAN institutionalization will not fit with the European model. Even though ASEAN states have demonstrated a greater acceptance of legalization of the year, the traditions and norms of the ASEAN way are still relevant. State references will continue to be adverse to strong supranationalism. As a result, integrations in the region should continue to be beneficial, but not optimal. Support exists for improving economics, democracy, and human rights in the regions. The dynamic of the political process, however, will limit ASEAN effect on economic growth and greatly constrain influence that it can have on democratization and human rights. Vocabulary: negotiations, formal discussions between people who are trying to reach an agreement. Consultation, to act of discussing something with somebody or with a group of people before making a decision about it. Intergovernmental, involving the governments of two or more countries. Regionalism, the desire of the people who live in a particular regions of a country to have more independence control in political and economic decisions.